So hello everyone, welcome to this community meetup. Today I will be showing things of a dashboards component, which is still work in progress. So it's nothing that we would have the preview version available right now, but we plan to publish this component in the time frame of like the autumn of this year after it's tested and proven in several applications that we are building right now. And basically what this control can do, I will show the demo first, is to create this kind of experiences. So you have a dashboard with different kinds of tiles. You can do some kind of drag and drop of the tiles, so you can like move them. You can change their sizes, yeah, so like resize them. If you try to reorder them, so I'm dragging this one to this position, so it will like move the other tiles to some other place. And the tiles are also configurable, so you can on every tile you can like use the settings, which will allow you to customize some parameters of these tiles. And you can add more tiles if you like, and things like that. So this is the kind of experience we are planning to build and ship as a component package for DotVVM. Right now, we are not sure if it will be part of DotVVM Business Pack or if it will be separate pack of controls. We don't know yet. So maybe if you would give us some kind of feedback if you are using Business Pack and if you want to integrate this with other Business Pack components, or if you want to use it as a standalone package without Business Pack. This feedback is very important for us. Before I'll dig into this control, just announcement. We told it on the last meetup as well, but it's very useful to say it again. We have migrated our Gitter chat to a new community forum, because Gitter changed the application they were using, and the messages and conversations are not indexable by search engines. So that's why we moved to this community forum where you can post your questions, and the .vvm team is watching these conversations. So as soon as you will write the question there, we will try to reach out to you and respond or help with anything. So we are starting to move the community here. Still, there is not so many people. We will be sending also newsletters about this, because this is quite important change for the community. So that's just where you will find the .vvm team and the discussions. And basically, so the features of the dashboards component is that you as a user can select tiles and place them on any position on the dashboard. We support different sizes of the tiles and drag and drop experience. You have seen it's not the final version. There will be a lot of graphic changes. We will try to make the user experience as nice as possible. And each tile is configurable. So basically, you can show the configuration dialog, and each tile has different kind of settings, different kind of options. And of course, the main purpose of this is extensibility. So you will have the chance to define your own tiles and connect them to your own data, because sometimes you just have a few different kinds of tiles, few different data sources that you want to support. So you will be free to just say, okay, I want just these 4 types of tiles. You will be able to implement custom logic, custom data connections, and things like that. The biggest issue in .vvm why building these experiences is not easy is that every tile can have a different view model, and .vvm doesn't play well with the polymorphism. So if we would create something like tile view model base, and then each tile would inherit from this base view model. It's nice, but once you make a list of these base view models in your view model, and the concrete types of the object is different than the declared type, then .vvm has a problem, because it's just serializing the view model in JSON. And when the JSON comes back from the client, no one can tell to what concrete type this JSON should map, because there is nothing to see if what is the actual type of the object. Also, it's a potential security issue, because some classes in .NET have some logic in a constructor. For example, the file info class, if you create an instance of this class, it will look at the file system. It can throw exceptions if the file doesn't exist and things like that. And there were more classes in .NET which are not very safe to use during the JSON serialization. So we cannot just add some like underscore type property in the view model, which would be saying, okay, the object is of this type, because the attacker would be able to tamper with this field and let .vvm create objects it's not supposed to create, and so that's the kind of potential security issue. That's why there is one pattern you can use in .vvm if you have like polymorphic types, and basically you will create a class with all different concrete types which are allowed on that place. So you can see I have like the built-in tiles view model, and I have 3 types of tiles. So I have 3 view models, and the convention is that only one of them will have a value, the others will be null. Yeah. If you violate this constraint, if multiple objects here will have some value, then the dashboard will look weird. But once you will make sure that only one of these types is not null, then this experience would work quite well. Because if you imagine how this would be serialized in JSON, .vvm will be sure that if the object is in the scalar tile, it's of this type. If it's in gauge tile, it's of this type. And the problem with polymorphism disappears. And we even have a control called polymorph template selector in our .vvm contrib package. So this control plays quite well with these types. If you haven't seen the contrib package and the polymorph template selector component, let's look at how it looks like. Basically, you will create this exact object. So it's an object, and only one of these values, one of these objects has a value. The others are null. And then you will use this polymorph template selector, and you will create template for each choice in this object. So basically, inside the polymorph template selector, you will just put these polymorph templates. You will set the data context to the property, and if it's not null, then this template will just appear in the control. The others will not be instantiated because these values are null. So this concept is already present in .vvm, either albeit it's only in the .vvm contrib, but this is the way how you can deal with polymorphism in view models, because when you will use the classic inheritance, there will be the problem that .vvm will not know what concrete type was on that place in the view model, because in the declaration there would be only the base type. So the dashboards will need you to provide a class like this with all kinds of the tiles, with all the options, all the view models that the tiles can use. And then you can use these objects in the view model of the page. So basically, you will be able to specify what types of tiles you are supporting, including the types of view models. Then you will be able to provide some factory function that will create the tile with some default settings, because if the user says, okay, I want a chart tile, you will want to set some default values for this tile. And then you will be able to define a template how the tile content should look like, and of course also provide a template for the configuration dialog. So if you give us these 4 things, the dashboards component will be able to like render this experience. And in the future, we will use the same concept for building like surveys or dynamic forms. If the user will want to design their own forms, including some kind of form layout, we can just with some changes in CSS, we can do this experience for forms and surveys as well, because basically it's very similar concept. So we will be prepared for that. So let's see how the source code looks like. I will show that because this is not ready made control yet. We will be packaging this as a component once we will figure out if it will be part of business spec or not, and once we will test it. But to give you an idea how this is implemented, so basically there is this menu for adding new tiles. This is pretty simple. We have built some simple drop-down menu component, which is quite interesting because it's all the logic. It doesn't require any JavaScript. All the logic is just done using CSS. So this is this drop-down menu experience in this top corner, and this opening and closing is done by like using the focus, because it will also play nicely with the keyboard. If this would get focus, this menu will appear. Once it loses focus, this menu will collapse. So this is just the CSS way of doing things. So if you look at this CSS, we have this drop-down menu, this like styles for the list and for the button. And here there is the focus within, which means that if this drop-down menu or something inside has a focus, then this UL will be visible and the items would be positioned and styled like that. So this kind of this experience that if you click on the control, the menu will appear. It's just the playing with the control focus. The only thing you need to do is to set tab index to 0 to this control to let the browser know that this element can get a focus. Yeah. So then this hyperlink, this button, basically doesn't do anything. There's no JavaScript needed because like once you click on it, it will get focus and the control will appear. And once something else gets focused, the menu will collapse. So this is exactly the experience we want. And I like that you don't need JavaScript for things like that. So this is the top menu. This is not that much interesting. And the dashboard is using CSS Grid, which is a very nice thing for making grid layouts. If I show, while I'm dragging, we are like highlighting the individual tiles. So basically, you will create a div, set the CSS grid, and define how many columns and how many rows there should be, and it will create this kind of grid experience. So basically, using this style, grid template columns, grid template rows, I am rendering this number of columns, this number of rows. So the CSS will prepare the grid for the size I have in my view model. And then I will just render the individual tiles and tell the tiles like column start and row start on which position, on which coordinates, on which column and row it should start. And basically that's it. The rest of the positioning is done by the CSS grid. So it's very simple and it plays nice with .vvm. Yeah. Then I have also another drop-down menu in each tile, which basically is doing this experience. So you can open the settings dialog, you can change the sizes of the tile, or you can remove the tile. And basically, it's nothing special here. I'm using the JS module. So basically, I'm just calling some JavaScript methods in my JS module because I want to call some commands and also provide some other things. So this is calling JavaScript in my JS module. So that's it. And basically, that's it. And here there is the polymorph template selector for the content of the tile. So if the tile is of a type scalar tile, it will render this template. If it's a gauge tile, it will render this template. And if it's chart tile, it will render this template. And it seems that I'm missing a closing tag here. So that's good that I noticed. And here is a similar experience for the dialog. So here I have the model dialog. I'm using the HTML dialog element with this open flag, which means that the dialog would be open. And I'm also having polymorph templates for configuration of scalar tiles, configuration of gauge tile, and configuration of the chart tile. So basically, based on the types of tiles which you will give us, the control will generate these polymorph templates for each kind of the tile, and that's it basically. Yeah, and that's the end of the control. What's also interesting is this drag and drop experience, because you have seen that I was dragging and dropping these tiles. Let's do it. Yeah, so you can drag and drop things and place them on the dashboard. And basically how this is done is using just a simple knockout.js magic, because if you want to allow dragging of some elements, you will add draggable equals true. And then I'm binding a JavaScript event drag start to some JavaScript function, which will call drag start on this $dashboard object. And this $dashboard object is created by this data binding. And this data bind, which is also knockout.js syntax, this will enhance the binding context with this JavaScript object. So let's see how this is created. I have the TypeScript here, and this is the binding handler. So if you apply this binding handler on some element, it will create a new object, dashboard editor, which is a JavaScript class, which has the functionality of this dashboard. And I'm extending the knockout binding context with this editor as a $dashboard. And then I'm applying the binding to the descendants. Basically, what it will do on the JavaScript side is that if you will inspect the element and call the KO the context for, so anywhere inside this dashboard, it will extend my context with this $dashboard JavaScript object. So this is the way how you can enhance the binding experience with a JavaScript object, put it in the knockout context, and have it propagated to all the children. So this is how it works. And then I can bind events using knockout.js. So I can call on drag start, I can call this function on this JavaScript object. And if I would write JavaScript translations and declare this $dashboard object as a C# class, then I would be able to write this using .vvm syntax, not knockout.js. But this is just an internal functionality of the dashboard drag start. I don't think anyone else than this control would be calling it, so there is no need to make the C# wrappers, but it would be possible. So I'm just binding this drag start event, and it will call this drag start on the dashboard. And the drag start on the dashboard, it's just switches this view model is layout editable property to true, which means that the tiles highlights, the tiles overlay will appear, and I will remember which tile has been dragged. And then on the drop event, which is somewhere here on the highlighted tiles, which will appear, then in this event on drag over, I am calling this allow drop, and on drop, I'm calling this drop method on the dashboard. So basically, I'm using these three methods to implement the drag and drop functionality. So drag start, which will remember which tile I was dragging and turn on the overlay. Then allow drop will just say if it's possible to drop the object on the element on the place where I'm holding the mouse right now. So this is called during the drag and drop operation. And when I drop it, it will call this third method, and I will call some view module command move tile and tell it, okay, I've moved this tile to this position, and it will make a call to the server, which will recalculate the dashboard positions, the dashboard sizes. It can also save the settings, so the user next time will have the dashboard in this state and things like that. So basically, that's how this drag and drop experience is created. Basically, it takes just 3 JavaScript functions. This is not possible to implement without JavaScript, but as you can see, it's not that much of JavaScript, so it's still a bit manageable. At least I think that it's quite fine. So basically, this is the only JavaScript the dashboard needs. Otherwise, it's just this binding handler, and there is one extra function for formatting the values, but that's basically all the JavaScript that is needed. The tiles are using chart controls. So when I am here in the templates and I am using this chart, it's using this Apex Charts library, which is a very nice charting library. And I'm using React version of this library. So basically, when I'm defining my chart, I'm using the React syntax, and I will just take the data from the tile, prepare them in the format this Apex Charts control needed, and then I'm just rendering the chart. So here for implementation of the tiles itself, I'm using the React integration in DotVVM. And of course, we will prepare some base tiles with these charts, so you will not have to implement your own. You will just tell the tile where is the data, how the data looks like, and basically that's it. Yeah. The same is with the Apex gauge. Like I'm also using this chart type is radial bar, which is exactly this this gauge experience. So both these are created by the Apex chart library, and we are using the React version of this library because DotVVM has a very nice integration with React. And if anyone wants to use different charting library, it will be already prepared for that. Yeah. So basically, that's how the component is implemented. We will, right now, you can see that the control is still in default DOT-HTML. Once we are happy with the implementation, we will pack it, embed it as a normal component. And the only thing you will have to provide is this view model with all the types of the tiles and then templates for each tile. So that's basically what we will require to implement your own custom types of the tiles. So that's the end of the demo. So if you have any questions to the dashboards component or to any other .vvm related thing, then just unmute and you can ask anything. I will be happy to discuss.
Hey, yeah, I have just not a question, but idea. Could you support maps with this idea? For
I
example,
think, yeah, I think it will be possible because you will be able to implement anything inside the tile. You will define a template which will appear in the tile. And I believe that Apex charts, if they have the map already, it will be easy because we would be using the same library. So I'm not sure if they have the map, but probably maybe not. Maybe they don't have it. Otherwise, I think they would like show it, but maybe they don't have it exposed here on the home page. But like you are defining the templates yourself, so what you put inside the tile, it will be there. The templates are basically inside this polymorph template, so you will be able to define whatever you want to show in the tile. It's maybe a good idea to have a prepared tile for the maps because you will be showing the data on the geographical regions. So that's a great feedback. Thank you.
Thank you for the information.
Mhm. So if there are any other questions, you can ask now or later in our new community forum. So it's the address is forum.dotvvm.com. So you can ask anything here, and we will stay in touch. Okay, so thank you for joining us today, and I will be happy to see you next month on the community meetup. Make sure to follow us on Twitter because we are announcing the meetups on Twitter or here on this community forum, and sometimes in our newsletters. So make sure to follow us on any of these channels so you would be notified about the next date of the meetup. And also we are publishing recordings from these meetups on our YouTube channel, so you can also subscribe to our YouTube channel and watch the recordings later. So thank you, and have a great day or evening, whatever your time zone is.